Hey everybody, Dustin here with Lost Away the Game Review. We're going to be taking a look at how to survive as survivors with simple tips and tricks that include repairing, healing your friends. Now, the most essential one is repairing is going to be a big deal, especially since this is going to be the centerpiece to your game. And we're going to talk about how to succeed and what will happen to fail. As you saw there was a cue that sounded like a piano key being smashed. That was my cue that I was going to have a quick time event pop up and I would need to hit L1 as quick as possible. Now this goes the same for the Xbox One and PC versions. You're going to have all the same events. Big thing you're going to want to notice is heartbeats, music, that kind of deal. All these are going to be really important for your deal. Now the big one I did mention was repairing, especially because repairing does have a telltale sign that you're about to have something go on. Now the biggest one is, as you saw there, was the music cue with the piano key. It told me when the cue was going to start and when I would be able to do it. And even the heartbeat that you're hearing now is the game hinting at me that the killer is nearby and that they're getting proceedingly close and they're going to be a threat if they are to find me. Now because that is a cue to the game, you're going to want to pay attention to those little small details because they are extremely important to your survival, because the killer is going to be a big threat for you. Now, it doesn't mean that the killer actually does see you, it just means that they're in the vicinity you are. So pay attention to that, because once the heartbeat stops, the music stops, the better chance you have of surviving. Now, it doesn't mean that they may not have seen you. They may be messing with you. I know as my place when I'm playing the killer, I do like to mess with the people I'm hunting, especially because I know if they've caught me or caught on to my vicinity, they're going to run. Now, one thing you might also want to notice is that as the killer is nearby and what you're doing, one thing that's really important is ensuring your own survival. That means if you fail your repair, don't always stay nearby, because if you don't see the killer and they're not carrying somebody, there is a good chance they're probably hunting you down. Now, if you're close to finishing a repair, like I am here, the good idea is probably to go ahead and finish it out and allow the repair to be completed, just so you have that one need to exit. But for those of you who are just now starting to play, if you complete a repair or you fail, or you even spook a crow, the killer is going to know, because it highlights on their screen whereabouts on the map you've been. Now, I do want to continue on and say, if you are playing co-op and you do have a way to communicate with your team, work with your teammates, because there's a good chance that the co-op repair and actions, let alone are they going to give you a lot of XP, they're also going to benefit your team more as you attempt to flee the entire map. As you can see here, we're really close. We have 2 generators left. Those 2 generators mean we're 2 more closer to opening the exit so that we can actually get out of the map and hopefully survive the killer. Now, unfortunately for my team on this map, we did not make it out alive, but we did put up a heck of an effort trying to hide from the hag, who the player was very, very good at what they were doing. And so that's definitely a big thumbs up to them for being able to do so. Now, with that even being said, it doesn't always mean you're actually going to be able to survive. These are just little tips to look for, especially things such like the hag. You can look for her traps on the ground. You'll notice the triangle. Except for sometimes, if you're that close, it may be a little too late. One thing you will want to do for each map, look for these little chest type deals, because they do have supplies that you can use and keep after the match. So that is a big bonus for those of you who are playing Dead by Daylight and trying to exceed what you're currently doing. Now, this doesn't mean you're going to go pro, it doesn't mean you're going to be the best in the game, but they're just general ideas of what you can do to survive. Clear down to even hiding in the storage shelves that you're seeing. But just to be warned, if you do hide in those quote-unquote closets, there is a chance the killer can find you and they will kill you almost instantly. So be cautious of that. Now, one thing that is important is fighting for your survival, especially if you are caught. In this match, I pretty much did everything you should do as a survivor except for leveling up. Now, one thing you will have an opportunity to do is wiggle, which means you're going to want to wiggle your left thumbstick as quickly as possible for a chance to survive, because this does make it a lot harder for the killer to navigate you to the nearest hook. Now, will you always get away? The answer is probably not. I've actually had a few where, unfortunately, the consequence, I did die and my teammates did not come rescue me. As you can see here, I was able to get away and even get to a safe spot. But this next match, I wasn't able to do so much because I did have to fight off a much different killer, which is the Doctor, who will purposely drive your character mad and even tips him off to where about on the map you are. As you can see here, my character's already having some issues. He's already starting to lose his mind. But fortunately, he's the only one with a unique trait like this where you're going to want to pay attention to the detail, especially because you can, if he gets you to a stage 3 treatment, your character is starting to go insane. So you'll want to be able to snap out of it as quickly as possible, which means go find a safe spot and go ahead and hold down your R1, your RB, or whichever key it is on PC, and get your character's head clear so you can get back into the match and not be as much a risk to yourself or your teammates. See, as you can see here, I was able to snap out of it, instantly start going to repair. Now, because I have been treated, it does mean he can once more elevate my treatment. And unfortunately, that is a downside for me, because he could have caught me and wiped my team just as quick. But even as stated before, repairing, you want to pay attention to the cues, because it will tell you when it's about to do a cue. As you can see there, I accidentally missed it, which means I probably should be getting out of there, especially since the killer is nearby. You can hear the heartbeat picking up, which is my hint to get out of town and definitely find somewhere safe, because he's going to be hunting me down. Now, for those of you wondering, killers will always be in first person, survivors will always be in third person. It's just one of those unique ways they made the game itself a little more immersive. Now, for those of you wondering, if you are fighting against the Doctor for survival, one of the things you are going to want it to do is ensure the fact that even if you're hiding, you're a decent ways away from him, because he will be able to find you through the treatment. It will tip him off where you're at, and because of what he can do, he will find you, and unfortunately he will end up more than likely killing your character. But I hope these tips, simple tricks, do help you have a chance to survive. I'm going to let you see the rest of this match. And I do hope these tips and tricks help you survive as you try to survive the night. If you aren't, you'll probably be dead by dawn. Till next time, see ya.